All right, this is Eric, and I'm going to give you a brief tutorial on how to use Piktochart to create an infographic for our class. All right, so you do need to have an account. You can use your nichols.edu email address like I do, or you can create a throwaway email address. It's up to you. However, you do not need to pay for any premium version to complete this project. All right, so once you have created an account, go to login and log in. We can ignore this message. Now this is the dashboard. There's nothing here right now. So we want to create an infographic. So go to create new, and you'll notice that you have different options. You could create a flyer or a poster or social media visual content. However, we're going to do obviously an infographic. So choose infographics, and you have two major options here. You can either start from scratch with a blank template, or you can choose a pre-made template and make it your own. Let's look at that latter option. So go to use template. And don't worry about what the template says. So for this one, for example, says that it's a weekly status report. We are going to edit it significantly, so it doesn't really matter that it says a weekly status report. We're not doing a weekly status report. Okay, just choose one that you think looks nice visually. All right, so the first thing you'll notice is you have different elements that you can select. If I choose to click on this text box with a title in it, I can do a few different things. I can change the appearance. So I could, for example, change the font. Let's change the text as well by double clicking. So I could say my infographic. I can resize the text box. I can change the font size if I wanted to. I can change the alignment of the text, left, center, right. If I have a text box, I can choose it to be justified. However, I would be careful about using justification whenever you don't have a hyphenation available. You can change the color. You can change the opacity, which means that you can make the element more or less transparent as you'd like. This is really good for layering different elements one on top of another. And you can, of course, reposition it. And when you go to reposition it, you'll notice that there are different alignment helpers that pop up. These are super useful to get your alignment just how you want it. Okay? Let's say I want it to be kind of right aligned here, and the top edge is aligned with the top edge of that date there. Beautiful. Okay. You can, of course, add more text beyond just editing text by going to the text thing here in the menu and choosing title, subtitle, body text, whatever. You can use different text frames if you'd like. It's up to you. All right, so obviously you have other elements besides text. You have decorative elements like these divider lines. You have a timeline. You have charts, lists, all sorts of things. That's great. You're going to try to use as many different kinds of elements as possible. If you want to add lines, you can find them here. You want to add photos, it's under graphics as well. They have a curated collection that you can choose from. So let's say you want to do, I don't know, this one. And photos are actually really great for like backgrounds. So let's make this workspace a little bit bigger, and let's resize this. I'm holding down Shift so that when I resize the image, it stays proportional. You may think, oh geez, what happened to my infographic? Well, let me show you a couple different tools that you can use in concert for a really cool effect. So the first thing you want to do is move this to the back. So you have this option. It says arrange. Let's move it all the way to the back behind everything else. And then let's make it super transparent. Let's make it like, I don't know, 30%. And let's make this a little bit more opaque. And yeah, this looks kind of nice. I mean, it's not beautiful by any means. It needs a lot of work, but it's a good start. So this is a cool kind of effect you can do with these photographs in the background. You can obviously delete things as well. Let's say, oh, I don't want that. Oh, I don't want that. You can select a bunch of things and delete them. Hit Control A, for example, select all and just delete everything. Control Z will undo it. Okay, so besides, oh, and by the way, you can also upload your own images if you'd like. Just go to Browse or drag it right into this little box here, and you are golden. Okay, so besides those decorative elements like lines and headings and body text and images, you can also include other things such as lists and timelines and comparisons. They have these kind of pre-made little sections for you that you can use. Let's go to lists, right? Let's say I want my list to look like, I don't know, this. I just kind of drag it on here. I can position it wherever I want. And of course, edit the different icons and the different texts and headers, headings, the title, that sort of thing. And then I can just delete it if I decide I don't want it. So those different design components are useful. Let me show you one other graphic. You can get, in addition to photos and lines, you can also get icons. So let's say I want to search for, I don't know, athlete. I'm doing something about sports maybe. And I can find this little person right here and look at her, she's running, make her a little bit bigger. And once again, to ensure that if I were to do this, it would obviously look pretty terrible. But if I want to make sure that it maintains the original proportions, I can hold down Shift as I resize it so it looks pretty nice still. It doesn't get all weird looking like that. I don't know, I guess she's just like really tall and thin. But there we go. That's how she's supposed to look. And of course, it doesn't just work for photographs. You can also use this arrange option for anything to move it further back. Let's move it, I think, maybe in front of the background, but behind some of these other headings. There we go. She's having a good time. All right. Now you can, of course, change the background in other ways. So let's say we got rid of this big photo. You can choose a color. Simply look up a hex code color generator or finder, and that will generate for you a 6-character code for a color, which you can then use. So let's say I want it to be like totally white. I just change it to the proper hex code for pure white. If I want it to be completely black, there we go. And any color in between. You can, of course, add background patterns like this and change the opacity so it doesn't get too distracting or make everything too hard to read. And another option that you have in terms of the overall thematic appearance of your infographic is to change the color scheme. Now, you unfortunately cannot create your own color schemes, but you are totally able to just change. Let me just actually go back to the very beginning so you can see this a little better. I'm hitting Control Z and going all the way back to the start. So one of the first things you probably want to do is change the color scheme from the default so that your template looks at least a little different from all the other people who are doing it. And you of course want to change more than just the color scheme. You want to really make it your own in as many ways as possible. Otherwise, you're not doing any interesting creative work here. Anyone can just take a template and change up some text. That's like easy. You want to really just use the template as a starting point, a launching point for you to kind of do your own work. So experiment with those things. All right, so we've looked at graphics, which includes icons, lines, photos. We've looked at the different design components. We've looked at the ability to upload images. We've looked at the ability to change your background. We've looked at adding text and color scheme. The last major thing I want to show you in terms of design are these tools. Let's say I just want to delete everything just for fun. I can add a chart. Okay. You can also add a map if you'd like. But let's just say, like, I don't know, height comparison. I'm changing the name of my chart here. Let's make it a vertical bar chart. And now, in order to change the data that I have being displayed on the chart, I obviously do need to change the data in this spreadsheet. So let's just say name and then height in inches. We can get rid of, I guess, some of these and change this to Eric, 60 inches. Taylor, my fiance, she's probably like, I don't know, 53 inches, something like that. Not exactly sure. Okay, and so now as soon as I make those changes in the spreadsheet, you'll see that it changes the bar chart. I can, of course, try different ways of presenting this information. Some will make a lot more sense than others. In this case, we're just comparing two single quantities. What makes the most sense here would obviously be the vertical bar chart. But experiment with the different types of data you're using. You can title your axes if you'd like. You can change the color to, I don't know, something a little prettier. Add some more labels, right? Do whatever kind of stuff you want to do, and then hit Insert Chart. And voila, right? You can resize it, position it as you need to. It looks nice. You can also create maps, similar kind of thing. I'll let you explore that. And finally, you are able to add videos. However, for our project, we're thinking more about an infographic as a static image. So videos obviously wouldn't work for that. Okay, so you should play around with this. Again, don't stick too close to the templates. And if you do have any problems while designing, let me know. Now let me show you two other essential things before I say goodbye. So first of all, I can change the name of it and hit save. So this way, if I don't want to do my infographic all in one sitting, I can go back to my dashboard and reopen it, just log back in, go back to edit again. And once I feel like I'm totally done with my infographic, which obviously I'm not here, but just to show you how it works, I can hit download and just download as a PNG, and this will pop up. And just hit save, and this file, this PNG file, is what you would upload to Moodle or email to me or whatever. Now, I just realized there's something I forgot to show you earlier, so let me do that. You can divide your infographic into different blocks here. You could also just delete the blocks and just have a single block. I tend to do that just for simplicity's sake, but I could definitely imagine using the multi-block feature if you have a particularly long and complex infographic that has different subsections. In any case, to give yourself more room, just go to the bottom and drag it, or to make it smaller, drag up, right? And you can adjust the size of your infographic as you need to based on that, okay? Should be pretty, it should be longer. It shouldn't be like square. That's not really much happening there. So try to make it long and narrow like most infographics are. You guys have plenty of data from your written arguments, so try to include as much of that stuff as you can, okay? But again, once you're done, just make sure you download it, download that file, email it to me. Again, you do not need to pay for anything, and if you're at all confused about any part of this process, you can always get in touch with me. All right, so take care and let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.